quick update on the Big Brother 26 feeds. After feeds were out for almost an entire day because of a long HOH competition, that they decided to not show us on the feeds, and then they came back with a terrible twist, which we will probably talk about first, because I really do hate the twist, to be honest. Let's first announce, of course, that Leah is the new HOH, and one thing about this season is there's always going to be some power flips in the house. It's been one of the best parts of the season. You know, the alliance is always falling apart. We've had a lot of flips. Leah and Angela just got blindsided with the vote last night, which maybe motivated Leah to win the long competition. Gotta give Leah credit for, winning that long competition after being blindsided, really locking in when it came to needing an HOH, and she did need this HOH, I think, compared to the last two HOHs who I don't think needed them, Quinn and Chelsea. I do think Leah needed this one. Leah might not have been the main target this week if she didn't win HOH. I do think some people in the house besides her wanted to split up the trio that has strength in numbers of T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo. But I think Leah winning this HOH could be good for her game. We'll talk about it here in a sec. Let's first talk about the stupid twist, them having to live outside for the next week, giving Dire Fest teas, but not exactly a good thing. Even during Dire Fest a couple seasons ago when they did that twist, when half the house had to live outside, it was still like a split house where half the house was inside, half the house was outside, and they all had to play their own games. This is just 8 people having to live outside. The worst part of it for me is that feeds are going to suck on a game level because there's only so many places to talk. So they're all outside in a group all the time. I don't know. I think it's going to be a really bad week of feeds. We see them just hot all day. I mean, at least they didn't do this last week when LA was having the heat wave. But nonetheless, I think the twist will make for really boring feeds overall for the next week. So don't like the twist at all. This is why I never praise the production of the show, even though this is a good season for once. The producers always find a way to do something stupid, and this is that something stupid this season. I guess it's better than last year's zombie twist, but that was such a low bar. But yeah, the twist, just not good for feeds. Gonna make for a boring week. Leah is the HOH, though, and this is her conundrum, because I know a lot of people online are saying she needs to just put up Chelsea and T-Core because then somebody strong gets out of the house. And I get it. They want Leah to make a big move. That would be, I guess, a Tucker-esque move. But where exactly is Tucker? Ah, yes, Tucker was a pre-jury flop. So I don't think that's probably the best thing that Leah can do for her own game. The last few weeks I've sat here and analyzed HOHs and what the HOHs should do, and I still think it was probably optimal if Chelsea would have tried to take out Leah over Quinn last week, because look, now Leah is HOH. Chelsea did put in good work a day and a half ago when she had a nice conversation with Leah, really tried to kind of save her ass with Leah, and maybe that pays off this week from Chelsea. I do think she maybe did save her ass with Leah a day and a half ago when they had that conversation, because Leah and Angela were blindsided in the vote, but Chelsea didn't vote. It was really MJ and Cam that blindsided Leah. But now where it stands, I think Leah still wants to be good with Chelsea for now and target the trio. At least that's what all of our conversations have been about today. Now, I'm recording this before any nominations are official. Usually by now the nominations on a Friday are official, but because it was such a late comp, nobody got sleep, they all have to be outside. I don't exactly know when nominations will be official today, or if it will be late tonight or in the morning. I would assume it will still be sometime tonight that the nominations will happen. But for most of her conversations, especially with Cam, she was talking about or alluding to Rubina and Chemo being her nominations, at least her initial noms. So, T-Core haters, you might have to wait until a renom for T-Core to finally hit the block. Because as it's been discussed from Leah so far overall, it seems like she's leaning towards Rubina and Chemo. She had her conversation with T-Core where she didn't promise T-Core anything, didn't promise her safety, but still during that conversation didn't seem like she was going to nominate T-Core, at least as initial noms, because T-Core didn't nominate her during initial noms during T-Core's HOH, although T-Core also did not put her up as a renom. Leah saying that Chelsea had 2 HOHs didn't put up Leah at all during those 2 HOHs, so she feels like she owes that to Chelsea. There is speculation that maybe Leah still wants to go through with the Chelsea back door. That is an option as well. I think Leah wants to see how the week plays out with Vito before she tries to make any big move. And like I said with the twist, there's only so many places to talk in the backyard. So I don't even know if she would tell Angela her real plan. But then again, I don't even know if she trusts Angela that much after last week. Leah did say if she were to win HOH, she wasn't going to really talk about her plan to anyone. So that does make me think there is a possibility of trying to make Chelsea a renom this week. But I've sat here and I tried to analyze because, like I said earlier, a lot of people want her to put up Chelsea and T-Core and just make a big move, even though that would be Tucker-esque, and then Leah would go home sooner rather than later. Leah probably does need to think about this logically, about how can she get through this week without the big target being on her back. And the best way is probably not trying to target 2 sides at once, because you're only going to get one person out this week. So why anger everyone? If she were to put people from the trio on the block and people from MJ, Chelsea, Cam on the block, you're really just pissing off everybody. But it also does kind of seem like a lose-lose situation, because say she does get out a trio member this week, what's stopping Cam, MJ, Charlton from winning the next HOH and still targeting Leah anyway? So you can look at it like it is a lose-lose situation for Leah. But also Leah put herself in this predicament when she kind of helped let her simps go home back-to-back over the past 2 weeks. So the fact that Leah has nobody, and she was crying all of last week and isolating herself all of last week, she did that to herself with some bad decision making over the past 2 weeks. I've said it the entire season. Leah's game has been too one-dimensional. She had the Joseph and Quinn eating from her hand, but played a part in both of them going out back-to-back weeks when she could have manipulated the situation way better than she did when Quinn was HOH 2 weeks ago. So yeah, Leah is between a rock and a hard place this week. Does she play it logical and try and play it safe, where she can't really target 2 different sides at once, because then all targets could just look back at her? Can she then make a move against a trio, which at this point is seeming what she's trying to do, but will that just still backfire and she's still the big target next week? I don't know. It is a lose-lose situation for Leah, but also she put herself in that predicament. She had a conversation with Rubina where she said Rubina is a part of her plans, and in that conversation that could have been an illusion that she had a bigger plan. That is why I do think there is the possibility that she will renom Chelsea rather than T-Core if her initial noms are Rubina and Chemo in the first place. You know, she had that discussion with Angela about putting up both T-Core and Chelsea, or if not that, putting up T-Core and Rubina, with Chelsea being the possibility of a renom. I don't know if Leah is still trying to play nice with T-Core because T-Core never put her up, so then Leah can say she never put T-Core up. Maybe she can gain T-Core's admiration there. I don't know. T-Core does pull some weight in the house right now with Chemo and Rubina both still being there. So I don't know. We don't have official nominations yet. So a lot of this is still just speculation. And with the twist, Leah can only talk so much to people. Although, Leah talks a lot. The problem with Leah is she never talks. She talks in circles. And she just talks about herself too much. So you don't really get that much good grasp of her thoughts with the game sometimes. So with the conversations she had today, I think the initial noms are leaning towards Chemo and Rubina. T-Core is still a possibility of being one of the initial noms. She's discussed with a lot of people that it's going to be Rubina and Chemo, and if somebody comes down, then T-Core goes up. But she's had conversations all last week that Chelsea is a big target too. So who knows who her actual renom is going to be. At least it keeps us on our toes, I guess. I still hate the twist though, and I don't think the feeds are going to be good overall because of the twist this week.